If you guys have recommendations for better eyeliner that doesn't smudge or go in like your eye boogers, please comment. Oh shit. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Crystal. I've been asked a few times to make this video and I've been putting it off because I feel like I suck at makeup. I feel like in person it's not as flawless as it could be or as other people look, but maybe that is just social media for you. So without further ado, I'm just going to show you my go-to everyday glam makeup. First and foremost, you're going to want to wash your face, get all the dirt and oil off. You don't want to put makeup on a dirty face. It's never going to turn out good. And then secondly, after you wash your face, you're going to want to either moisturize or prime. I've never really been able to find a primer that I liked, so I just moisturized before I put my makeup on. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, but I use good old Vaseline for moisturizer. I know that sounds really crazy, but if you have dry skin, you know. It really helps keep my skin from flaking underneath my makeup. Contrary to popular belief, Vaseline is non-hypoallergenic, I believe, which means it does not clog your pores, it doesn't cause breakouts. A lot of people think because it's greasy that it's gonna cause breakouts, but I just put the smallest bit on my fingers and rub it evenly into my face, and I just let that soak in for like 10 minutes. If I end up putting too much, I will take a microfiber cloth and just wipe off the excess. So my favorite foundation right now is the Joair, I hope I'm saying that right, Essential High Coverage Cream Foundation. This is in the shade Nutmeg, which is way too dark for me right now because I'm not tan. So I'm not going to be using this today because it's so dark. So my go-to drugstore alternative is the Milani Conceal and Perfect. This is a very high coverage foundation. You'll soon notice that I only use full coverage products because of my skin texture. It's actually pretty clear right now, but usually I have breakouts and stuff going on. This is in the shade Sand Beige 06, and this actually matches me perfectly like whenever I don't have tan on my face. And I'm using the e.l.f. powder blurring brush. I use this to put on my foundation. I usually just pump it onto the brush, one pump, and I spread that around both my cheeks. Next, I'm going in with the e.l.f. concealer. I use this in the shade Medium Sand, and I just put a triangle underneath both of my eyes. I also apply it on my forehead, the tip of my nose, and under my chin. Here I'm using a Morphe brush to just blend that in. It takes me forever to blend my concealer, so I'm just fast forwarding this part. And I'm also going to be linking this Morphe kit that I get all of these brushes from down below in the description box. Then I'm going back in with that foundation brush to just blend the dark and the lighter shades together a little bit more seamlessly. For cream contour, I like to use the e.l.f. concealer in the shade Deep Olive. I like to use this concealer as cream contour because it adds a little bit more coverage and it also does the contour at the same time. I've had this Real Techniques blending brush for ages, but I'm going to try to link everything down below so that you'll be able to find it. So while I'm waiting on the cream foundation and contour to dry a little bit before I set it, I like to do my eyebrows. I don't like drawing my eyebrows on with powder on my face, so I always do that before I set. For my eyebrows, I use a Morphe flat brush, and all of these Morphe brushes will be linked down below. And I also use this ColourPop palette in the darkest shade on the bottom left corner. I like to wet the tip of the brush a little bit first before I dip it in the powder. After I dip it in the powder, I like to squeeze it with my finger so I can get it as sharp as possible. That way it's super duper sharp before I go to draw it on. I like to draw the tail on first and then outline the eyebrow, and once I'm finished outlining it, I lightly fill it in so that way it fades towards the center. By the time I finish my eyebrows, my foundation has usually started creasing right here, so I just take the brush and kind of blend it back in before I set it just around my eyes where I have those creases. And then I have the Laura Mercier, but I actually prefer this because it's a little more yellow tone for me. So I use the Wet n Wild banana powder, again another Morphe brush, to set, and I just put the smallest amount under my eyes. And I just kind of tap it in. I used to bake and like do the whole thing, but I feel like that always ends up looking really cracky. Like I feel like my makeup starts cracking after a while if I do the whole baking process. I'm just gonna put on a little bit of this Laneige lips. It's a sleeping mask, but I use it all throughout the day, honestly. Like a gloss. They're always giving this as like gifts at Sephora. Sometimes I low-key like the way I look without any eye makeup on, but then I get out in public and I'm like, why did I do that? So I'm just going to go in with some blush in the same areas because it's kind of looking orange. Usually if I add blush, that kind of helps neutralize that. Then if I do want to go a little bit darker, I use the Hola Caramel and my forehead. Then for my eyes, I also use that ColourPop and I use the Pebble Beach shade, and I've been using this brush, this exact same Morphe brush, for like 10 years. And I've not been able to find the exact one because the actual like number is rubbed off. So I've like found similar looking ones, but I just feel like none of them work the same as this one. So now to darken it up a little bit more, I just go in with the same bronzer that I just used. It's the Hoola Caramel. Sometimes I go darker with my eyeshadow and I put a lot more glitter on, but I generally do my makeup the same every day. One of my favorite things to do whenever I am doing a little bit more is take a flat edge. This is one of my favorite foundations as well. I take a flat edge and go from my bottom lash, and with the same shade I will like, I don't know how to explain it, but this is what I do. And then it like creates a sharper edge. Next, I like to brighten up my highlight points on my face with a white eyeshadow. Any light shade will do. And I just kind of like put on the tip of my nose, highlight my eyebrows, my inner corner, and then my eyelid. I don't know if you guys can see, but I have really tiny eyelids. Like they disappear whenever I open my eyes. So I've never really been able to do a cut crease without it looking crazy. So this is my cut crease hack for tiny eyelids. I take whatever glittery shade I want to do, which I really like this one in the top palette, and I wet my brush and I take the shade Slated, and then I just kind of pat it on like what's left of my tiny eyelid. Then I take that Morphe brush again and blend it out. So I'm just using a CoverGirl stick, and I'm just gonna put it on my waterline. If you guys have recommendations for better eyeliner that doesn't smudge or go in like your eye boogers, please comment down below, because I feel like it's so much easier to use a stick than the gel. I kind of messed up and did it like way too thick right there, but I don't care. I'm just using the Estee Lauder one now because I'm pretty much out of that other. Last but not least, I always do lips and lashes. So these are the lashes that I use, and I have these linked on my Amazon storefront. These are my favorite. I rarely deter from using this exact lash. I'm open to suggestions though, and I already have some cut that I wore the other night. I usually reuse my lashes for like 2 to 3 nights. I like to put it on my finger to kind of curve it. I literally just stick it to my finger for a second and then pop it off. Weird, I know. I will always swear by the Duo Quick Set Lash Glue, so I just put that on. I used to be a lash extensions girl until I started noticing in my selfies whenever I needed a fill-in, it looked like one of my eyes were like drooping. Now I wear fake lashes to ensure that my lashes are always symmetrical, so you don't really have to wait too long, and I like to put them on before they dry completely. I use tweezers. I don't know how people do that with your fingers, but I like to stick it in the middle first and then glue the edges, so that way I know it's where I want it to be. This is the Perfectionist Lip Ultra Precision Pencil in the shade Caffeine, and I use this to line my lips. And then I'm still using the Revlon Nude Fury 756 Cream Lipstick in the middle. So you guys, that's all for my makeup tutorial. I'm open to suggestions and opinions. Please comment down below if you have any questions or recommendations.